Hi guys, welcome to Mad Maestro, the gaming channel with a difference. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a difference today because I want to talk to you about one of those deep dark topics that no one wants to speak about unless they're familiar with you. So, you know when you do that thing when you go to meet somebody and you get to know them. Hi, how are you doing? My name's Gaz, or my name's Mad, whichever you like. You'll do this thing where when you first meet somebody, you'll introduce yourself. And then what we do is we kind of had like this mask on us. It's like sort of like a front we put on. There's like a bit of a mask there where you don't see the true inner soul that is me. You just see my surface sort of essence. I project my soul through my face, through my mask, if you like. Today I want to talk about God, religion, science, the devil, black magic, the black arts, the occult, etc., etc. Because I like to think I'm quite familiar with these aspects. When I was a kid, I was I was told a few things from a very early age. I was told about Ouija boards, and one of my nanas was a sort of white witch. She introduced me to Ouija boards, seances, spiritualism through church mediums, etc., that sort of thing. Informed about that from a very early age. I remember I did my first Ouija board when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, Ouija boards, oh, you're going to die, everyone around you is going to die. No, not really. It doesn't work like that. In my experience of doing the Ouija boards, me and my brother, when we were younger, we used to do Ouija boards quite a lot. And in our experience, what used to happen is they would always work, but you had to believe it was going to work. What happened was the glass you put your finger on and takes on the personality of the spirit or the demon, if you like, whichever you wish. If it's like an old person that comes through the glass will kind of like move across the board like sort of jerkily, like slow. If it's like a young child that's entered the glass, and the glass would shift across the board like really quickly. It would always work, and I was intrigued by this, and I was heavily influenced by black magic. And I remember at school, I did a trade with a guy where I actually got a black magic book, a book of demonology. I've had it ever since. It's a book on witchcraft and demonology. I'll show that there. And I studied this book, and inside this book is basically like, it basically tells you how to summon demons. It's pretty heavy shit. It goes through Hebrew Elohims, which is basically like, it's incantations. If you look at this, I'll just show you this. This is to summon demons. To summon demons, it was necessary to utter the 9 divine acrylic names, and there they are. So there are ways to like summon demons, and basically what we did was, me and my brother, practicing witchcraft. Yeah, I practiced the dark arts and doing lots of bad things. What I did was I wanted to curse somebody. One of the ways to do it, and I don't recommend you do this, by the way, because karma's a bit of a bitch. Whatever you do to someone, there's a consequence. So in the universe, there's always positive and negative reactions, and there's always an action to a reaction. So anyway, and I had a friend who came from quite a wealthy family. He didn't believe in anything. His mum was a devout Catholic, and he didn't believe in anything. He believed not in God, and he didn't believe in agnostic, is it? They don't believe in anything. I invited him round to show him that black magic and spirits were real. I invited him round. Me and my brother set up the Ouija board, a wooden board, and I'd hand painted all the semicircle, alphabet A to Z, and then you have like yes and no in the corners, and then you have like 0 to 9 numbered across the bottom. This was one of the practices of the wall of the Ouija board. You could talk to good spirits, you could talk to demons, etc. Whatever came through, basically. So you're opening a gateway, which is why people say like you shouldn't mess with it, because you don't know what you're opening, you don't know what you're messing with. Me personally, I always said the Lord's Prayer. At the end of the Ouija board, you slide the glass off and you say like the Lord's Prayer. So you're trying to attract good to the board and not let evil through, because evil doesn't like to fuck around with God, as you might know. In the name of Jesus, if you're a Christian. I brought my friend around to introduce him to the Ouija board, and I was trying to show him that black magic and the occult exist. And what we did was, we asked the Ouija board, or the spirits behind the board, to show my friend that they were real. We heard scratching sounds like this coming from the board, but they were quite strong scratching sounds. And my friend basically just said, "It's you, mate, it's you scratching under the board." So we lifted our hands up like this. We took our finger off the glass, we lifted our hands up like this, me and my brother. And the scratching sounds came intermittently like this. Okay? My friend said it's bollocks, mate. It's all bollocks. And even with the proof there, with the noise there, he didn't believe it. Like, some people just don't want to believe. Some people just will not believe. If they see a ghost right in front of them, a ghost or a spirit or a demon, if they see that right in front of them, they'll say, I don't believe in you. They're too scared to believe. Some people are afraid. Some people just are not interested at all. They just want to carry on with their lives, living in a happy little bubble. You know, that's fine, you know. But, you know, that's what I was like for years, you know. Nothing really good came out of the board. It said some scary things sometimes. About half an hour of doing the Ouija board, it would always get more powerful. So what would happen is you would start off quite slow. The energy in the board would be quite slow, and over time it would build up. We found so after a couple of hours of doing the board, if we did it for a couple of hours, the glass was flying around the board. And if you got like a young kid come through, it would be like the glass would like circle. Like, say you asked it a question, it said yes. It wouldn't just go like to yes. It would go, oh yeah, and it would like, the glass would like get dead giddy, and it would start spinning around and say, oh yeah. And if one of us took our finger off at any point, and there's just one of us with the finger on the glass, it would stop straight away. It would always stop. It was almost like it didn't want to make you too scared. It would just like play with your emotions a little bit. If you get too scared, like, you will drop it. Like, you can't, you don't want to do the Ouija board, but it's quite freaky, can be quite scary, especially when you do it. When I was 16, I met a girl, my wife, who I'm with now, I met Georgina, and I brought her into the occult circle that we was doing, and I brought me and Gina and my brother did it. It's about, the name's POP. So POP stands for Pop, obviously. And Pop was her granddad in Ireland, who had died. So she started crying, she got really upset, and I felt really bad. And obviously, you know, me and my brother didn't know who Pop was. We don't know Pop from Adam. Yeah, George started crying. At that point, I stopped doing the Ouija board. I sort of fell out with it a little bit, because it's making people upset. You know, you don't want to do something that doesn't make you happy, you know, that makes you upset. So I left it at that point, threw the Ouija board out, that was it. Then I found myself moving away from the dark arts and black magic and that sort of thing. And I was raised in a Church of England school. You know, I used to sing hymns. I played the recorder. I'm very quite talented with music, as you know. I play piano. You watch my channel. I used to praise God, and I used to believe in God, and I was a kid. And I used to sing hymns and all the rest of it. And as I got older, I sort of lost my way with God and Jesus a little bit, and religion and all that. And I sort of lost my way, and life gets in the way. And I went in the forces. I was very busy, so I went away from it for a while. And then about a year later, you know, about 17, 18, I have a friend, another best friend, and he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was being a complete bitch. And as your friends' girlfriends do, you know. I said to my friend, like, this girl is cheating on you. You know, you need to get rid of her. She's bad news. But my friend was in love with her, so he said to me, no, she wouldn't cheat on me. I actually caught her. I actually caught this girl on a night out when I was out with my other friends, cheating on him. And I rang him and said, Tom, you need to come. I said to my friend, Tom, you need to come to the club. And you know, Tom came and he saw his girlfriend who was kissing this guy. So basically took her out of the club and took her home. Like, basically said, what the fuck are you doing? To sort of get back and sort of like avenge my friend, because I thought I was doing the right thing, I actually cursed the girl. And I look back at it in hindsight now, what right do I have to curse anybody? And I didn't really understand karma. I followed the witchcraft curse sort of method, and one of the gypsy curses that you can do, one of the old curses that you can do, is you take a hair or fingernail of the person, so it's a part of them, their physical body, and you use that. And what you do is you get a photograph of them. Okay, you put the hair or the nail on top of the picture. You light some black candles. You say a particular chant, a particular spell, and while you're doing this spell, you pour the wax from the black candles onto the picture, so it sort of gels the wax sort of gels the hair or the fingernail to the picture. Then you take a pin and then you poke the eyes of the person, and then you put the photograph, this photograph with the wax and the fingernail or the hair sort of glued to it by the wax. You put this inside the ground, you bury it, as you say, in a particular spell. So I thought, yeah, you know, I'll give it a whirl. I've always believed in black magic. I had no problem with it. Like, you know, I always believed in the dark arts and black magic. I didn't really feel like scientific method. I was just trying things out, like sort of doing sort of like, if you was a scientist, you do chemistry experiments in your home. And I was doing like that, but like with black magic or with witchcraft. So 2 weeks later, the girl gets taken into hospital, and she's got a problem with her spine. Doctors don't know what it is. It's like a tumour on her spine. Yeah, they're going to try and operate on it and take it off. We don't know where it's come from. She has the operation, and it goes sort of successfully. Like they take the tumor off, but like they say she'll never be able to have children. So I get wind of this, like she's going to hospital, like this girl, and I feel really bad, and I look for a reversal of the spell. And what I do is I reverse the spell. I put a reversal of the curse on, and just like basically like repent for everything I've done, and like feel really bad, and and I promise never to touch black magic or witchcraft or anything ever again. That was it. That was me done it. I proved it was real. Proved to myself it was real. A lot of scientists would say it's coincidence, whatever. I am a scientist, by the way, but a lot of people who don't believe in that would say it's coincidence, and it just so happens. But I've had too many experiences. I've had too many experiences in my life to not know it's not real, if that makes sense. Me personally, my beliefs. Okay. Now I thought to myself, I reversed it and it was successful. And by the way, she has had a child since, and she's fine. By the way, she's all right. Bad karma. What came to get me was nightmares. I had serious nightmares, like night terrors, like really bad. I had night terrors when I was younger, when I was really young. I was haunted by these nightmares. These nightmares got worse after this. Nightmares about being chased. I went to a church once and I was trying to save people from these evil spirits, and these evil spirits were out to get everyone in the church, and they were like sort of laughing and joking. They were like demons essentially, just in spirit, like sort of spirit form, not like monsters, just demons. And like they'd be hell on earth, and I was trying to like rescue these people, and I couldn't rescue the people. They were just like, they wouldn't listen to me, and I tried to tell them, like, you're in a church, but like there's evil in the church, like you need to get out there. They're like, no, it's fine, God will protect us. God's not protecting you. You're in this church, you're gonna die. You're gonna get your spirits and your soul torn to pieces. You need to get out of it. No, listen to me. And then I watch them get torn to pieces. So yeah, it's more of a horror, I think, when it happens to other people and you have to witness that than it actually happens to yourself. Sometimes that can be the real horror. You can't. It's the feeling of helplessness. You can't do anything about it. There's no hope. That feeling of like no hope, which I think that was hell. I think I was sort of like seeing a glimpse of hell. Like you've got that no hope. That God's not going to save you. Jesus, you're out of Jesus' reach. It's very dark. The darkness is you can't see your hand in front of your face. This is heavy shit. It's the gloom. It's like the gloom is so thick. The darkness is so thick, and it's horrible feeling of being alone and scared. The fear is horrible. The fear makes you, you get a feeling like you get goosebumps, like your hair standing on end. It's that constantly. It's horrible. What I did was I looked into charms, and I looked into more of my witchcraft, my pagan belief, my pagan beliefs, which is witchcraft and demonology, and I made an Osy charm. It's like a pebble, and you put Osy, O-S-Y, sort of diagonal across it, and then you have a cross, a black cross on either side of the point. So you've got one at northeast and one at the southwest points, and you've got Osy written across the. And I put it inside an old Indian pouch and kept it on my door, and try and drive out the spirits. Said a prayer, tried to drive spirits out, and the nightmares went for a while. Sort of gone back to the dark arts in a way, because. So then I thought to myself, it's like a vicious circle. It's because the demons come and haunt you, so you use more magic, witchcraft, to get rid of the demons, or to sort of help yourself, and then by doing that you attract more demons to you, because it's a vicious circle, because you're using the witchcraft to get rid of the demons, and then the demons are coming to you because they're attracted to the fact that you don't believe in religion because you believe in the dark arts. So or witchcraft, even if it's white witch, it's not next to Jesus. If you read the gospel, if you read the Bible, it will say you shouldn't perform witchcraft. Simple as that. God is the only true God, etc., etc. Things happened since that moment of me using witchcraft again. A few things happened. One of the things is when we moved to our first house, when we was 19, 20, me and my wife, we moved to our first house, and the house was over time we realised the house was haunted. We had a lot of hauntings and evil spirits in the house. And my little girl, when she would talk to the spirits, I used to say to her, like, who are you talking to? She'd be like, nobody. But when I went out the room and shut the door, she'd be talking to people, like, in the room, no one there. My wife was quite open to this. She's quite sort of psychic, and she's quite open to the supernatural. And I am open to the supernatural in my dreams when I sleep. And my wife was visited by, she saw a little girl in the doorway in the bedroom. A little girl. It was very dark, very sort of like sad, and she was stood in the doorway, and it freaked the shit out of her. And she shouted at me, and I came up, and there was nothing there, obviously. And she said, look, we need to get something, I'm seeing shit. I'm seeing full apparitions here. But we saw, it was like a wet patch where my wife's feet were at the end of the bed. She felt this wet patch develop just out of nothing, and when I pulled the covers back of the bed on the sheet there was like a patch of water, a sort of like circular patch of water, like a perfect circle. And when I put my hand over the wet patch, it just dissipated. It just like seeped into the mattress. There was nothing absorbed into the sheet. Strange. Just not nothing. I checked my ceiling for leaks. There's nothing there, and my wife was freaked out about it. So I got these mediums in. Got 5 mediums into my house, and exercised the whole house and got rid of all the evil and the demons out there. Hopefully, I've not had many things since, so should be okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed. You know, Jesus help us. Yeah, but basically, one thing I was going to say about this black magic is, I thought to myself, if black magic and evil spirits are real, because I know they're real because I've had first experience with cursing people, with reversing those curses, with doing other spells, charms, dream and the occult, and I was actually visited by a white spirit. I was visited by a spirit, and it sort of like got right in my face, right up. This light came into my face, and I woke up out of breath, sort of a bit scared, a bit taken aback, like I believe. I said I believe. I'm sorry, and I started crying. I started weeping, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I believe. I was a good Christian once upon a time when I was a kid. I'm gonna pull that old Bible out and have a nosy at it and see what's going down, and see if my soul can be saved. So what I did was I looked into God and said, sorry, Father. You know, just started crying. Said sorry. You know, I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry, Father, for doing the things I've done. And I know I've not been, you know, I was a little bastard at school. I nearly got expelled from school from bullying and swearing at people. I was very obnoxious, and I wasn't a very nice person at all. I was a horrible person when I was a kid. But I always had a side to me that was quite good. So even though I was horrible and bad behaved, I always, from my heart, I always knew Jesus was with me, and I always knew in my heart that like I was a decent guy deep down. Like when I was nasty to other people and I used to beat people up and fight with them, I would justify it and say to myself, well, this guy's bullying someone else, so I'll just go and kick fuck out of him because this guy's bullying someone else, so I'm just going to go and kick the shit out of him because that's justified, you know. So I kind of justified it in my mind, when really I think it was really evil or a presence with me, sort of like showing me that I could do that. If I wanted to do that, I could do that. I could be all powerful. I could make my own decisions. I could cut my own, what they call in the army, I could cut my own detail. I could do my own shit instead of listening to the word of God. Instead of you know, listening to the Bible and the scriptures and the Gospels, I could just cut my own fucking detail, basically. So because of the black magic and the occult, then obviously I knew, like through voodoo priests and things like that, and the Haiti priests, I knew that they'd sent evil and evil spirits to torment and hurt other people and drag their wealth down and their status in society. And I knew that when they sent those demons over, if they were protected by Jesus or protected by God, and they believed that, whether it was a Muslim, whether it was a Church of England, whatever, Catholic, whatever you want, they couldn't touch him. The demons would come back, they would return, and they would say, why are you sending me over there, brother? Why are you sending me over there? I can't believe you're sending me over there. And they say, why are you sending me over there? Basically, there's a fucking 2 angels built like shit houses with swords, like. So these angels would protect, you know, the people that believed in God. And they would say, like, you know, why you send me over there? Like, really angry, the spirits would return and say, why you send me over there? I can't touch them. You know, these people are untouchable. They believe in God. You know, the power of Jesus, you know, the power of God. You don't fuck with the power of Jesus, you know. I love Jesus. Jesus is my savior. He is my little man, and I want to play guitar, and I want to be in the hillbillies and sing about Jesus. And Jesus is the name. Jesus is the Lord. And it's like, it's just bollocks, basically. It's just our own interpretation. Could be the devil's influence on us, making us think that all Bible bashers, we call them Bible bashers, all Bible bashers and Christians and Jesus and all that is like, I want to be the Savior, Savior of the Lord. Don't you want to be my Savior? Come on, let's sing about Jesus. And it's like, well, not really. Think about it like this. This is the way I look at it. Jesus, God, fuck off angels built like shit houses with big. Yeah, think of it in another light. Think of it like the angels are like superheroes. So the angels are like superheroes, and the angels, it's our perception, our own perception of religion and the Bible. And that's why you get, you know, like scientists. Like, I'm a scientist, you know, I'm a scientist by nature. I'm studying science at university. I'm not some guy that's like, you know, I believe in the Lord and the Lord can save me. I'm nothing like that, you know. I'm speaking from experience of like fucking around with the devil and fucking around with demons. I'm speaking from experience where, you know, I've tried my own scientific method within religion. You know, I've looked at the Muslim way. I've got a friend who's a Muslim. You know, he tells me about jinns, and he tells me about jinns and curses on people. And you know what? It all interlinks. Everything interlinks. That's the main thing I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say that if you look, if someone down your street is a crackhead, and someone's saying he's a crackhead, this geezer, someone else says, yeah, he's a bit of a crackhead, and chances are, if a million people say he's a crackhead, chances are he's probably a crackhead. If a million people say they've had out-of-body experience, a million people say that they've, you know, if a million people say I've had an out-of-body experience, if a million people say, you know, I felt the hand of God, if a million people say this, if a million people say this, then it's probably true. You know, God and Jesus probably do exist. But let's go with scientific route. Let's look at my books. Yeah, my scientific books that say it's a load of bollocks and everything can be measured through time and space continuum. Everything is measured. The universe is expanding. The Big Bang did happen. We're not sure why, but it's not religion. It's not God. Okay, this is the scientist approach. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Right, this is the cube. Okay, this is the cube. All right, if I show you this cube, it's a Minecraft cube, by the way. You know I like playing games. Okay, it's a cube. All right. If I do that with the cube, that's one side of the cube. If I do that with the cube, okay, that's another side of the cube. If I do that with the cube, that's another side of the cube. It's all the same fucking cube, isn't it? It's just different sides to the story. Different sides to the cube, alright? So, different sides to the cube, one cube, okay? So let's say this, right? One God, different types of religion, different ways of reaching out to God, okay? Yeah? And you could go through the argument of, you know, Jesus was a prophet, Jesus was not a prophet. You can argue all day. I tell you what, let's get some swords out and kill each other over it, shall we? Let's get some swords out. Let's get a gun in this day and age and let's fucking shoot people over, you know, over the arguments about religion. Well, God don't want that, does he? God wants you to look after each other and fucking worship, you know, worship him and just be good and just live your life in a nice way. You know, if God's real, let's say God's real for a sec. Let's move away from the scientific approach. Let's say God's real, then surely God wants you to not kill other people because they believe in just a different route to him. Still God, innit? Allah in Islamic religion is another name for God. Alright? So Allah is God, Jehovah is God. Alright? Jesus is Jesus, whether he's a prophet, whether, you know, he's a prophet as the, you know, Islamic religion states, or whether he's the son of God, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, we get into technicalities, it doesn't matter, because ultimately one cube, different sides to the story, yeah? One cube, different sides to the story. The same as one cube, okay, magic, religion, science, yeah, one cube, but different sides mean different things. So one side is your occult, right, fucking around with demons and shit. One side is your bloody religion and doing things right and doing right by your fellow man. One side is, do you know what I mean? It's all one thing, it's one bloody thing in the universe, right? So, all right, scientists would come along and the scientists would say, "You are telling lies. There is no proof for this God you speak of, huh?" I don't know why he's got that accent, but you have no proof for this God. You cannot prove this. If I believe I'm a scientist. I believe in things that I can prove and measure in time. I said I can't really measure light because it behaves as both particles and waves, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I can not measure some things. Ultimately, I'll be able to with the Hadron Collider in CERN. Okay, so you smash particles together, okay, and you play God, yeah, and you smash particles together at the Hadron Collider in CERN, and you create new particles. Isn't that just a coincidence that when you play God and you smash things together, you create new particles, a bit like a God? No, there is no God. Okay, there's no God. All right. Then. So where did the Big Bang come from? The Big Bang was real, but we cannot explain what the Big Bang came before. What came before the Big Bang, we do not know. Okay, but yet a religious person would say, well, the Big Bang happened, but we believe in the Big Bang, but it was down to a creator. That's all it is. It's the creator. Okay? Because there was a creator. There has to be a creator, whether it's, if you're a scientist and you believe it just naturally happened, it's still been created by something, it's still a creator, whether it's chemical, biological, whatever you believe in, or whether it's an actual being or a person. I mean, that's the only difference, really. Do you know what I mean? That's the only difference. And whether you worship that, you know, scientists would say, well, I don't want to worship a piece of rock or a reaction, you know, in space, an atmospheric reaction. I don't want to worship that. Whereas a religious person or a person who believes in demons and spirits like myself would say, yeah, but you know what? Probably more likely to be a creator, possibly, because there's too many fucking coincidences. There's too many fucking weird shit going on in the world. You don't understand. You don't understand unless you've dealt with occult and black magic and you've dealt with religion firsthand and God has spoke to you or Jesus spoke to you, whatever, you do not understand the power of God and Jesus. You don't understand the power. And when I say that with, you don't understand the power of the devil and his servants, and the evil that's amongst us, in the world, behind the scenes. Forces at work, guys. There's forces at work that are behind the scenes that you don't see. Okay, when you watch a film, you enjoy the film, you absorb the film. Okay, you learn about the film, it educates you, it moves you. There's a lot of people working behind that film, working behind the scenes. It's the same with life, guys. There's an old saying, like, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it didn't exist. And the devil and his demons, they do that. What they do is they do it in such a way so that you denounce God, you denounce Jesus. Okay, you come away from that. Okay, you're born into it, you're born into the church, whatever you're born into, everyone's happy singing hymns and everyone's happy. And as time goes on, that's no longer cool. So what you'll do is you'll go clubbing, partying, sniffing drugs, going crazy, having women, loads of women, doing all that stuff, and then you lose your touch with God. You become out of touch with God, and that's what the devil wants, man. He wants, I expect when I go to hell, I expect if I go to hell, okay, for the things that I have done with the occult and things like that, okay, if Jesus does not forgive me, I hope he will, and I hope that Jesus and God forgive me for the bad things I've done in my life and cursing people and the occult and all that stuff. That stuff, I'm hoping that he will forgive me if I, live in the light of God, because I know how powerful that shit is. So in Islamic religion, the jinns are the ones that cause quite a bit of chaos, and like when the genie grants you your wish, he'll grant you the wish that you want, but it'll have like a twist on it. There'll be a condition. So for example, you'll have the money and the wealth, but you'll have like a condition with it. So there's always a condition. So things aren't just given to you for free. You don't get anything in this world or the next world, in the various planes. You don't get anything for free. Okay, it's going to cost you something, whether that's your soul, whether that's your time on earth, whether that's the devil influencing you. You obeying the devil, it's going to cost you something. Things cost things, okay? Everything has a reaction. Every action has a reaction. Scientific law. It's the same in the universe. It's the same with God. It's the same with Jesus. It's the same with all that sort of stuff. So if you're playing around with the dark arts and you're playing around with the occult, okay, I'll just show you another one of my books. There's another one of my books, okay? This is the shit that I was into. Yeah? Magical recipes, spells and curses, alright? I've also got another book, a wizard that I used to know from our family circles, okay? This is a really old, crazy ass book, okay? This tells you about all the fortune telling and all. Look how thick this book is. This is an old book, man, from a wizard. So this tells you loads of stuff about phrenology, crystal gazing, reading tea leaves. It's all black magic and witchcraft, this book. So I know this shit. I'm telling you firsthand. I'm telling you from experience. You don't know what you are messing with. You are messing with forces beyond your comprehension. Okay, and what happens is when you mess with forces like this, you embrace the devil. You embrace his demons. Okay, because you're using their shit. You're using their power to do this. So you'll have to pay for that with your soul. Okay, voodoo priests and Haiti priests, it's the dark arts. What they do is, as they become more powerful and as they rise through to high priest and all the rest of it, they have a hierarchy. And so this is the same with Satanism. When you go down that path, you will get visited by ghosts, whether it's in your sleep, and whether you'll see apparitions and demons in your closet that come and invite you in, or whether it's under your bed or whatever, or inside your room. You'll see demons, okay, they will come to you and they will say to you things like, you can have it all, All you got to do is sign a 20-year contract. In 20 years, I'll come back and take your soul from you. That's the condition. And then you come and visit my friend in hell. Come and visit me, old Lucifer. He's going to take your soul, renounce God. And you've got to then choose the devil. And then, there's going to be people out there. I was the same once upon a time. They're going to say, yeah, there's a party in hell. I don't want to go to heaven and where there's angels. And why do I want to go to heaven? And why do I want to go where there's cupids and arrows and all the happy good people go there? I don't want to go there. I want to go where there's party time, where the devil is, rock and roll, baby. Yeah, I come from that background. I come from a background of rock and roll. And yeah, and I can tell you something. When you're stood in front of God, when you're stood in front of Jesus, all that mask, all that shit mask that you put on in your everyday life, it all goes away, it all strips down. And what is bared is your soul. The only way I can describe it is when someone dies in the family, you have like a death, and it's not a nice experience for anybody. And you go to the funeral and you start weeping, you start crying. That feeling that you get Okay, when you're a little boy, that innocence, that is what you will feel with Jesus and God. When you come into His kingdom, if you get the chance, if you will feel that innocence, you will feel the wave of light over you, and you will feel that innocence that is the true you. Strip the mask down, strip the bullshit down. That inner you, that inner soul, that is you, that you don't even know yourself sometimes, that inner you is what you will feel. Okay, that's how it goes, guys, okay? So no masks, no bullshit, no rock and roll. Yeah, there's no rock and roll in hell, mate, I assure you. Okay? The devil don't give a shit. The devil just wants to torture you. That's what he's there for. The devil and all his demons are there to torture you, and they enjoy it. That's what they want. They want to fuck God, but they want to say, fuck off, God. This is what, this is a fuck you to God, It's taking one of his people that he loves, because he loves all of us. We're his children, we're his sheep, his lambs. Takes us down there and he tortures us, puts us in these little cube things and he tortures us. If you want to know about hell, just punch it on YouTube anywhere you want. Does hell exist? Guy that's visited hell. So do your own research, just find your own shit out. You'll find out loads of things about what people said about visiting hell, and they all tend to be pretty much the same. So, if they're bullshitting me, they all must have got together in a congregation and all got together and said, this is the story, guys, stick to the story, let's bullshit them, let's try and get Christianity on the map, yeah? It's not that, it's not that. These people have actually been to hell, these people have actually experienced eyewitness accounts, testimonies. They've actually been there, they felt the fear, and these people, a lot of them were atheists, a lot of them didn't give a fuck about God, didn't give a fuck about anything. But these guys do, these guys do give a shit. Now they've been to hell. So yeah, so it takes that sometimes, guys. It takes a kick up the ass, because everyone's guilty of losing contact with God and religion, and losing contact with what's good, basically. Sometime in life, that's just human nature. But you got to ask for forgiveness, and that's what you got to do, guys. So yeah, if I get anything that's living, okay, if I get a piece of meat that was once living, if I get a vegetable, if I get anything that's once living, and then I pluck the life out of that thing. So if I take the apple or take the vegetable and I pluck it, or if I kill the pig and I chop it into bacon, whatever it is, yeah. If I get that meat or that vegetable, if I leave that outside, what's going to happen to that meat or that vegetable? Ask yourself that question. This is what I say to the scientists. It will decay. Okay, it will decay. Where's the decay come from? Evolution of flies and maggots. Okay, evolution of flies, maggots. Flies are naturally attracted. They have senses on them. Naturally attracted over to the rotten pork, the rotten vegetables, whatever. That will rot and return to the earth. It will recycle and return to the earth. Okay. What causes the decay? The maggots and the flies. Why do the maggots and the flies come over to the? How do they know to go over to that? They just know. It's evolution. They just know. They know. They can smell. They have many senses on them. They can smell. They can have many eyes. They can react to the environment. They can. All right. So just so happens, flies out of nowhere come up to a load of meat and start rotting it away and start laying their maggots. Yeah. Okay. Just so happens, out of nowhere, out of thin air. Just air, there was no flies there, all of a sudden flies just kind of come into the meat and it just rots away. It just kind of happens because of evolution. I'm sorry, that's not good enough, is it? I mean, decay, maggots, things that decay is living proof that that soul energy, that spirit, has left that thing. So when you get something with soul energy and spirit that powers it, the same as electricity powers our lights, you can't see electricity, but it can be measured. Okay, the same as a soul. It's like soul is like energy, it's like another form of energy. It's like people who practice, Reiki healing, and I don't know where you stand on that, but people who practice Reiki healing and people that, there's a guy called John Chang who basically, he can basically produce electric impulses from his body using chi energy. Scientists have measured this. There's a video on YouTube. Just check it out. John Chang on chi energy. There's YouTube videos on this, and he basically creates electrical impulses. He's actually set things on fire. I don't know whether you believe in that or not, but he can actually do this with his energy that he's learned from meditation. So there is energy within the body. It's been proven that energy could be a soul energy, and obviously that's your soul. So if you've got a soul, then religion and God and everything and all this, angels and demons and all that, is probably true. Put it this way. I don't think you have to go to church. I don't think you have to do that. But I do think you should say your prayers, especially if you're a Christian. You should say your prayers first thing in the morning, first thing at night. It's 2 minutes of your time. What have you got to lose? Try it. If you feel better, if you start doing good things, if you start moving less towards the dark side of life, and move away from demonology and the demons and what they're whispering and all the rest of the bullshit that they do to you. If you move away from that, then surely that's a good thing, whether God is real or not. So try it. You know, do the scientific method. Try it. A lot of scientists preach, you know, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in religion, I don't need this shit. Okay, but they don't try it. Try it. Okay? Don't just go, I don't want your Jesus Bible nonsense. No, don't throw that on me. Well, have you tried it? No, I don't need to try it. Right, okay, but what happens if you tried it and you actually lived a happier life because of it? What happens if you actually said a prayer privately to yourself? You don't have to go to church, you don't have to go Bible bashing and preaching on the street, knocking on people's doors, none of this business. Just a private solidarity to being with God. Just you and God. So speak to him as if he's your father, as if you would talk to your dad, and just have a word with him. And just, you know, it could be with yourself. You just call it God. Have a word with yourself and just, you know, get down on one knee, say a prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us each day our daily bread, just give those who sin against us, lead not temptation, deliver us from evil, thy kingdom and glory forever. Not difficult, just say the prayer, take 2 minutes, say a prayer, see how you feel. Try it for 3 weeks. And if you feel better about it, continue to say your prayers. And if you don't feel better about it, then sack it. I urge you to go onto YouTube, which you're already on if you're watching this, and I want you to YouTube, okay, after death experiences in hell, and you will find lots of after death experiences. The body's died and the soul has moved on. Now these people have actually been declared dead. It's been proven, and they've actually gone to see God, or they've been to hell. And it just so happens that these people around the world, from different accounts, all seem to have something similar to say about hell and God and the devil. So if they have something similar to say about hell and God and the devil, then like the crackhead round the corner, you know, if you say it enough times and enough people around the world say it, it's probably going to be true. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, if I take an apple from a tree and I say this is an apple, and a lot of other people take an apple from a tree and they say this is an apple, it's probably going to be an apple. The same with religion. If many people from around the world have various accounts which are all pretty similar story. I landed in a cave, it was dark, I heard people being in cages, I heard people being tortured, I didn't want to be there. Jesus came down and lifted me up out of the cave and he gave me a second chance. If a lot of people are saying that around the world, different parts of the world, they didn't just get together and go, you know what, we're going to lie about this shit, we're going to lie, we're going to go on YouTube, we're going to try and get people into Christianity, and we're going to try and do this, we're going to lie about some demons and shit, and then hopefully like we'll scare people into religion, we'll get some money from it, we'll go church, yeah, go church, get some money. What reason have they got? Who gives a shit? What reason have they got to lie, to make a video about lying? Guys all over the world coming up with the same story about after death experiences. Scary shit. People don't want to believe, you know, but scary shit. People listen to me now and they're thinking to themselves, but I've lived this long like without God, so I don't need God. I don't really need God. I just, what happens if He was with you anyway, whether you like it or not? What happens if God and Jesus are with you, you just don't realise it? So God and Jesus are always around you, giving you blessings because they love you, and you just throw it back in the face. And I'm like, you know, I don't say thank you for this. My life is this because I made it like this. Okay, what happens if you did do that? You did make it like, but what happens if you want to have a life without God or Jesus? So maybe we need to say thanks for that. You know, thanks for giving me a life. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. You know, thanks for dying on the cross and fucking, you know, if you did die on the cross, you know, I know Muslims don't believe in that, but you know, in Christianity, if Jesus died on the cross, then you know, He did it for a reason. You know, people, you know, look in the Bible, like, you know, people say things about people like, yeah, you know, people got fucking enslaved and whipped and all that shit, and they did that all for what? A made up religion? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to die for a made up religion. It's like, you know, why would I say to a guy like in the street, I wrote this book and I just made some shit up. Hey mate, you want to put that book away? You're gonna get arrested, like you're gonna get fucking whipped. I don't care. Kill me now. This book's more important. Kill me for the book. And no one's gonna do that, you know. No one's gonna make a book or make a load of stories up and then die for those stories for no reason. No one's gonna do that. Loads of people have died for the Bible. Loads of people have died for religion. Yeah, because it's what they believe. You know, it's what in their heart they know they're going on to a better place. They truly, like the Muslims and the Christians and everyone else who's religious, those people believe in their heart that they're going on to something better, that this is just a test, which I've been told this is a test from psychics and mediums, non-religious people. I've been told from mediums and spiritualists, good reliable mediums, that this is a test. This is just a soul energy. We take on a form, take on a body. We learn a load of shit while we're in, and we return to the pool of energy, return to form, which is a bit like, if you're religious, going to heaven or being accepted into God's kingdom. So however you want to word it, whatever you want to word it, there's something going on. Now, what do I believe? You want to know what I believe? Okay. I would say, from my experiences in black magic and the occult and Jesus and God and everything else, and in science, I'm a scientist, I believe in science, okay? My weird ass fucking dreams, which are absolutely crazy sometimes, my out of body experiences, I've had it as well. I would say there's something going on. There's something out there, something going on. Even scientists say the world and the universe is made of carbon, oxygen, okay, silicon. It's made of the same things. We're made of the same things as the earth. And you could say that's evolution. You could say we came from the earth, whatever, but it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter, does it? We still came from that. There's still something else. So there's definitely something going on. There's definitely something. I think there's something when you die. When you die, you go to a better place. Okay, you go from, if you've been a good person, you've done good things, and you accept Jesus into your heart. Let's say you're going to go to heaven. Okay, I would say I would believe, because the power of Jesus and the power of God can be so strong in other aspects and other respects to my life. So I would say if their power is strong and they're real, then all this shit's real, and all the Bible and everything's real, and we best start saying our prayers. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Okay, and that's why I think of black magic and the occult and voodoo and witchcraft and religion and all that stuff. So what happens if it's real? Okay, ask yourself a question. If you're a scientist, okay, instead of thinking, dogmatically thinking, this isn't real, why don't you think to yourself, do you know what, this could actually be real? I'll just check it out before I make an assumption, instead of going, no, it's not real. My dad brought me up to not believe in magic and voodoo. It's not real, it's not real. It's not real, it's not real. I don't like, no likey. It's like, well, just research it. Look into it. Research it, look into it. Don't just go, no. The guy that says no, that film Yes Man with Jim Carrey? The guy that says yes has a lot more fun than the guy that says no to everything. So yeah, so look into that one. So take it easy, guys. I'm going to say Mad Maestro out. Sorry for ranting, it's been quite a long rant. But Mad Maestro out. Just bear in mind, religion, God, the occult and all that, just have a look into it. Have a read. Have a look on YouTube for it. And let me know what you think in the comments. Take it easy, guys. Mad Maestro out.